Hey everybody, Randy Adkins here, and this week's video is going to tie in a little bit with last week's video where I went to the anime convention. It's also going to be a little bit of a twist on the nostalgia tag that Miles J did. And if you remember from my first times tag, I mentioned the Sailor Moon fandom, and it's also going to tie in a little bit with that. This past weekend, I was at my parents' house, and I was going through some things in the basement, and I came across some boxes of mine that I thought I had lost in a move, but they were in the basement. So I opened the boxes, and come to find out, inside were some of the toys that I had bought back in the day when I had much more disposable income than I have now. So this week, I am going to show you my Sailor Moon arsenal. Okay, so I'm going to sort of go in chronological order. So I'm actually going to start with something that was sold as a Sailor Moon toy, but it actually is a Sailor V item. In the Sailor V manga, she had a Crescent compact that she used basically the same way as Sailor Moon's disguise pen in the Sailor Moon anime. So this is basically the same design. It opens the opposite way from Sailor V's compact, but it's the same design. So we've got the Sailor V Crescent compact. Next, we have, of course, the tried and true Crescent Moon wand. This is the original version. I've lost the ring that came with it that causes it to make a different sound. This I don't think has batteries on it. It does have batteries on it, but the batteries are dead. With the ring inserted and without the ring inserted, it makes different sounds when you push the button, lights up, everything that the Sailor Moon toys do so well. So I've got the original Crescent wand. I've also got the reissued Crescent Moon wand with the permanent crystal. This does have batteries in it that work. This was reissued. I don't remember if it was when the live action shows started or if it was something that was a tie-in with the musicals. It was one of those two. I know it was some live action thing. So they did reissue the original Crescent wand with a permanent crystal. Essentially the same design. It's a little bit bigger, it curves a little bit more, but another nice wand. So that's what I have from leading up to the first series of Sailor Moon. Now, going into Sailor Moon R, the second series, I do have the Luna P jewelry box, which I believe this was a Canada, like, Geek, North American type only piece of merchandise. I don't think this was something that was sold in Japan. It has just little slots on the inside that open up so that you can put items in there. It is electronic. I don't think I've ever put batteries in it. There's a little switch on the back, so I'm not sure exactly what it does if it has batteries. But moving on with Sailor Moon R, we have the Moon Princess Rod, and this one has 3 buttons. This does have batteries in it. I'm not going to push the buttons. It's really tempting for me to push the buttons, but I don't know what the sound is going to sound like coming across the video. But, so I do have the Moon Princess Halation wand. Moving on now to Sailor Moon S. With Sailor Moon S, I do, of course, have the Spiral Heart Moon Rod, and this I think is my favorite wand. It's from one of my favorite seasons. S and Stars are my 2 favorite seasons of Sailor Moon, but I love this wand. I love the fact that you get the 2 choices for the sounds that it makes, and then if you pop off this little cover and push the button here, this is the Super Sailor Moon Moon Spiral Heart Attack. No, Rainbow Moon Heartache. Moon Spiral Heart Attack is the regular one. It makes the Rainbow Moon Heartache sound instead of the Moon Spiral Heart Attack sound. So we've got the Sailor Moon S wand. Also in Sailor Moon S, we see the return of Chibi Moon, but now she can transform and has her own weapon. So I do have this, and I think there is a battery. I think I did put batteries in this. Nope, took them back out. I put batteries in most of these to make sure they still work, and other than the Spiral Heart Moon Rod, they do. The Spiral Heart one had a battery that corroded, so I'm going to have to open it up and clean contacts, and hopefully it still works, because it really is my favorite one. So we've got the Pink Sugar Heart Wand. Now, continuing on, next season is Sailor Moon Supers. So I, of course, have the Kaleido Moon Scope, Sailor Moon's wand, and this does have buttons. This is the easiest of all of these to set the sound off of, because when I had these sort of just stored in a box or in a bag or something like that, I don't know what it was, this one went off all the time. This does have batteries in it. Again, not going to push the buttons, but it does still light up and make sounds. Now, also from Sailor Moon Supers, this is one of the more rare things that I have. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it in English. The Japanese on the box says it's the Stallion Reibu. So it could be, I've seen it written R-E-E-V-E, like Reeve or Rave, but I don't know what word it's supposed to be. It may not even be an English word. It probably isn't an English word. They like French and things like that too. But I do have the sort of the little knick-knack that Chibi Moon uses to talk to Helios / Pegasus. So this is one of the more rare things that I have. Moving on, now we are to Sailor Moon's Sailor Stars, and I do have the Eternal Tear. I think this was the reissue also that I got. I'm pretty sure, you know, the same reissue that gave us the updated Crescent wand. This was just a reissue of the same wand. And this does make sound. This one I thought was kind of neat because it has a dial on it, and the dial changes the pitch of the sounds that it makes because of the way the attack sounded. Because it plays the sound, and then the next time it plays the sound again, but it's a little bit higher, and then it plays the sound again, it's a little bit higher before you get to the actual attack sound, like on the lead up to the attack. So that's actually how you do it. You hit the button and it plays, and then you turn the knob up a little bit, you hit the button again, it plays a little bit higher. The other button is the attack sound. Now, this wand has a little extension, because this wand, if you've seen Sailor Moon, Sailor Stars, you know that this gets combined with Chibi Chibi's chalice, and then it grows longer into the later in the season one, where instead of I'm trying to think of which one it is, because there's Starlight, Honeymoon, Therapy Kiss, and then there's but I don't remember which is, it's been so long since I've seen it, I don't remember which is the final attack. But when she powers up the wand to do the more powerful attack, she basically stabs it into the chalice, and then the length of it grows. Now, the reason I'm leading up all of that is because I actually have this. This is probably the rarest one that I have, and it looks stupid because this wasn't anything that was actually used in the show. But what this is called the Moon Power Tier, and what this was for, we twist this off, and pop this little cutesy thing out. This is the extension. So you put this on. You put this together, and normally it would have, in the middle section of this, normally it would have Chibi Chibi's chalice piece that goes over it. I don't have that. I tried for a long time to get that. It was never up on eBay when I was looking. I don't have the money to even look for it now. But then you get the extended version of the Eternal Tear. So this is one of the ones that I am prouder of, because the time that I bought it was the only time I ever saw it on eBay. And this is, of course, many, many years ago. So I have the Moon Power Tier, which does extend the length of the Eternal Tear. So that's the end of my Sailor Moon anime collection. I do also, though, from the Sailor Moon live-action series, I do have the Princess Harp. If you've seen the live-action series, this is the harp that she plays. And this is kind of a neat thing, too. This is also turned off, but it does have batteries in it. it has just kind of an infrared sensor under here, so when you have it turned on, when you strum it like she did, it plays music. The harp also converts to the sword mode, and you take off the little gem, it comes with a blade, and now you have the sword mode. The sword blade obviously is much smaller than it is in the show, but the harp sides also stay much larger than they do when it's in sword mode. But what are you going to do for a, you know, toy made for little kids to represent the toy? Or the weapon, I should say. So that's basically what I have right now. I do have some toys and plushies and things like that from some other anime series. If I find my Sailor Moon lockets, which I do have somewhere, I will include those along with, like, I have some Cardcaptor Sakura things, so I'll go over that. So that's basically it. I hope you liked this video showing you all of my nerdy Sailor Moon toys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe down below. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I will see everyone next week. See you later, everybody.